Welcome to this instructional training video on using the TxTag or SMS based field automation system. Okay, in this module you will learn how to use this system to update your calls in TxTag. All engineers are required to update the status of what they are doing back to the system using SMSs. So if you are a new user of this system, you must first understand how to use this system, how to make sure that you know when to send the SMS, how to send the SMS, and so that your movement is tagged well and all your visits are tagged well. Okay, so in this slide what you are seeing is the typical CE task which you do every day. You will see 4 circles at the 4 ends of that figure there. So you have them, each of them having a tag, tag 1, tag 2, tag 3 and tag 4. So for every visit you start going to that customer place, which is you start your travel, and then you travel for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour depending on how far the customer is, and you end your travel when you reach the customer place. Once you reach the customer place, you will have certain formalities to be done at the customer place. You will have to go through security, you will have to go through the reception, you will have to sit with the customer and discuss about the exact nature of the problem that he is facing to understand the problem better. So you do a set of activities which is listed as meet the customer, and once you have done that, you will actually start your engineering job, which means you will start opening your toolkit, you will pull out a screwdriver, your multimeter, and start working on the customer's equipment. So that is job start. So that is the third tag. Tag number 3 is job start. Yeah, you will do the troubleshooting, diagnosis, rectification. You will use all your engineering skills to do that during the hands-on time. You are working on the computer or the copier or the projector of the customer, and at the end of this whole process the customer's machine is either rectified or you have diagnosed that it requires certain spare parts. There could be various status at the end of your hands-on time, and once you have completed that, you will be meeting the customer again, updating him about what you have done and getting him to sign off on the service call note or the SCN. So once that is done, you will move on to the next call. You will again start traveling, reach the customer place, meet the customer, work on the customer's computer or whatever equipment is there. Once the work is complete, you will get another SCN signed off and move to the third customer place. So each day an engineer is expected to keep doing this for 6, 7, 8 times during the 9 to 6:15 working hours of an engineer. So the expected productivity of an engineer is 6. So you will have to do this at least 6 to 7 times every day. That is, you will start your travel, you will travel for some time, you will end your travel, you will go meet the customer and then start working, and once your work is complete you will get your SCN signed off. So for every visit that you do, there are 4 distinct stages, which is travel start, stage 1, travel end, stage 2, job start, stage 3, and SCN signed off, which is stage 4. Now what we want is that if we want to have good visibility of what our field force is doing and what is the status of the different calls that are being attended, from the management level we need to have information about these 4 stages for every visit of the customer engineer. So to capture this, we require you, the engineers of HCL, to send an SMS back to us at these 4 stages. That is, when you start your travel, you will send an SMS. When you reach the customer place and you park your vehicle or you are reaching the security gate of the customer, you have to send another SMS. And when you start opening your toolkit to start working on the customer's equipment, you will send a 3rd SMS. And once you get the customer's SCN sign off, you will send a 4th SMS. So for every visit you have to send 4 SMS. SMS 1 for travel start, SMS 2 for travel end, SMS 3 for job start, and SMS 4 for SCN sign off. Okay, so if that is clear, then we will move on to the next slide. We will understand each of these 4 stages. The first is travel start. Now every visit that we make, there is a reason why we are visiting the customer, and that reason is that there is a service order. Customer has ordered a service from us, which is why we are going to the customer's place. So every visit has to be tagged along with the service order number of that customer's complaint, which is listed here as SO. As you know, SO is a number. It's a 10-digit number which is generated from our SAP CRM. So when you start for a particular customer, moment you leave office, or you are going out of building, or you are leaving from one customer and leaving for the second customer, at that instant you have to send an SMS which will have LCS space TST for travel start time, and then space followed by SO number. So the SO written in yellow is indicating that you have to actually type a 10-digit number. That's a variable. If your tag is, if your SO number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, then you have to type in LCS space TST space 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, depending on what is the SO number of that customer where you are going to. So that is the travel start time. So every SMS that you send will have the first characters LCS. Every SMS will start with LCS, indicating that this is an SMS for an LCS engineer. And just about every SMS will end with the SO number. For every visit, everything that we do, there is a reason, that is the SO. So every SMS that you send will end with an SO number. So when you start travel, you will send LCS space TST space the SO number. Once you reach the customer place after traveling for whatever distance, you have to send another SMS. Now we would also like to capture how did you travel to the customer place. So typically all of you engineers will be traveling either by your own motorbike, or you will travel by the local public transport, which is a bus, or you may travel by train, which is either metro or whatever is the local trains available in a particular city. So that is railway. You might travel by an auto rickshaw, or you might in some situations travel by a cab or a taxi. So there are different modes of travel for the engineer. So once you reach your customer place, you have to send another SMS to say that you have ended your travel. So that is TET, travel end time. So now you will send an SMS which will say LCS, which is common for every SMS, space TET for travel end time, and after that the next 3 characters after a space will indicate how you traveled. If you have traveled by motorbike, you will type in MBK. If you have traveled by bus, you will type in BUS. If you have traveled by train or railways, you will type in RLY. If you have traveled by an auto rickshaw, you will type in RIK. If you have traveled by a taxi, you will type in CAB, cab. So these are the different updates. Now apart from the mode of travel, we would also like to capture what is the expense towards that travel. So if you are traveling by a motorbike, after typing in LCS space TET space MBK, you have to type in space KKK. KKK is the number of kilometers you traveled. So if you have traveled 5 kilometers for the SO number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, then you will type in LCS space TET space MBK space 5 If your distance is 5 kilometers, you can type in 5. If your distance is 15 kilometers, you can type in 15. If your distance is, let's say, 100 kilometers, then you can type in 100. Okay, the system will not accept anything which is more than 999 kilometers, so which obviously none of us will travel for a local call. So up to whatever distance you travel, one way journey distance you type in as KKK, followed by the SO number for which you traveled. So every time your SMS has to end with the SO number. So if you have traveled by bus, then you will type in LCS TET for travel end time, BUS for bus, followed by RRR to indicate how many rupees you paid for the bus ticket. So you can type in the nearest rupee. If you have spent 2 rupees 75 paise or 3 rupees, whatever, you can type in the nearest rupee. It can be 3 rupees, 4 rupees, 5 rupees. We are not provisioned for paise here. So you can type in 1 rupee, 2 rupee, 3 rupee, 4 rupee, 5 rupee, whatever rupees that you spent, up to 3 digits, followed by SO. Same is true for railways. You have to type in the number of rupees you paid. If it is by auto, how much you paid to the auto, and if it is by taxi, how much you paid for the taxi. And the last will be the SO number again. So like I said, every SMS will end with the SO number. So when you reach the customer place, moment you are entering into the security or the building of the customer, you have to send one more SMS to indicate that you have reached the customer place. So this is a question of discipline. Every time you start your journey, you have to send an SMS. Every time you reach the customer's building, you have to send one more SMS to say that you have reached the customer place. Moment we receive this SMS, the system will know that the engineer has reached the customer place. Apart from that, we are also capturing what is the mode of travel and what is the total amount you spent to reach that customer place. And once you are inside the customer place, like I said, you will go and meet the customer, you will update him, you will talk to him, you will find out details of the problem, and then finally you will say, okay sir, I will now work on the machine and solve your problem. So when you start working on the machine, before you open your toolkit, you have to send a third SMS stating that you are starting to work on the customer's equipment. So this is a very simple SMS which just is to say LCS, because every SMS start with LCS. You will first type in LCS. JST is for job start time. So you will type in LCS space job start time space the SO number. So moment you send this, the system will know that the engineer is now working on the customer's complaint. He is hands-on, he has reached the customer and he is starting to work on the customer's computer. So you have to send this SMS immediately before you open your toolkit. I am saying this because from the date and time of the SMS, the system is capturing what time you started, what time you reached the customer place, and what time you started working on the machine. So in the SCN you will actually be filling in from time to time. So that time is now picked up from the SMS. So that's the third SMS you will send for every visit. The fourth SMS is when you finish your work and you get your SCN signed off by the customer. So obviously you will work for half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, depending on how complex the customer's issue is. And after doing everything and you have concluded that either problem is solved or problem is pending for whatever reason, call is pending for whatever reason, spare is not available or spare is required, or some certain diagnostic issues, or customer resource is not there, or whatever. So there could be different reasons why a call is pending. So you have to send an SMS after getting the customer's sign off on the SCN, which is tag number 4. So when you send this SMS, there could be variations. After working on the customer's equipment, it is possible that the call is completed or call is pending. There could be various reasons, various situations. So there are a series of SMS which also indicates what is the final status. So the first one is call completed. LCS space JET, job end time. LCS space JET followed by the SCN number. You have got the customer's signature on an SCN. So what is that SCN number? It's a 8-digit number, 8-digit number that is there on your SCN. So whatever is that number which you have got that customer sign off, you have to type that SCN number. And then CC stands for call closed. CC stands for call closed, followed by the SO number of that call. Now what is the meaning of call closed? Call closed means that the customer's equipment is now working, it is made working, the customer's equipment is usable, but there is something pending at the customer place. Let us say you have changed the SMPS, or you have done something, you have given something equipment to the customer and solved the customer's problem, but we have to take back the SMPS from the customer place. You are not carrying it, you are going to another customer place and you want an office courier to come there and collect the SMPS. So as far as the customer is concerned, the call is over, the call is closed. But as far as HCL is concerned, there is still something pending to be done, which means we have to pick up a spare from the customer place. In such cases, it is marked as call closed. Customer is using the equipment now, using the printer or the projector or the computer, but something is lying at the customer place and we have to take it back. So that is call closed. The second is call completed, which means that there is nothing pending at the customer place now. The customer's equipment is working, there is no spare pending, nothing. Now the transaction is over, there is nothing pending in this transaction. That is call completed. So if it is a situation of call completed, then you have to type in LCS space JET space SCN number, which is the service call note number. CO is for call completed, means there is nothing pending, followed by the SO number. Okay, there is one more small input I need to give here. For the JET series of SMSs, which means job end time, you can also send, apart from the status, you can also type in a remark after the SMN, after the SCN. The remark can be SMPS change and problem solved, or diagnose that the motherboard of the computer is faulty, motherboard required, so and so particular motherboard is required. So you can type in any remarks after the SO number. This is only for the job end SMS, not for any other SMS. The option for remark is available only for the job end SMSs. So after the SO number, you can put a remark. The third SMS there is all CP, which means call is pending. The first one is for call closed, the second in there is for call completed, and the next 4 is for call pending. So LCS space JET space SCN number space CP means that the call is not over, there is something pending. SR stands for spare required. Okay, so SR means spare is required, followed by the SO number. And after the SO number, you can put any running text, you can indicate what is the spare required. Let's say you want the satellite gear set for a particular printer model, you can indicate satellite gear set, ribbon gear set required for printer ABC model or whatever. So that is spare required. The second there in that series is CNA. CNA means customer not available. Say you have reached the customer place to service his laptop or whatever, but the customer is not there. you waited for a certain time and then you are informed that customer will not be coming or whatever, so you are not able to close the call. So call is pending, and the reason for the call pending is that the customer is not available. Or it can also be that the customer is not releasing the equipment for you to service. That can also be a case of CNA. Customer has not given you the machine to service it. The third status in the call pending is that you have done some action, the computer is now working, but you are not sure if the problem is fully solved. This typically happens in intermittent type of problems where we do something but we are not sure if the problem is fully resolved. In that case, we might say that the system is under observation. If the problem doesn't repeat for another 1 day or 2 days, you can then mark it that the call is completed, but till then you are marking it as under observation. UO is under observation. So LCS space job end time JET space SCN number space call pending space UO under observation space SO number followed by remarks. You can indicate that the latest driver loaded in the system and now system is under observation. So that could be your remarks. You can type in any remarks. If there is no remarks to type, you can also send it without the remarks. The remarks is optional. The last one there is NSD is the spare part that you received is either not the right spare or it's a defective spare part. So LCS space JET space SCN number space call pending. And why is the call pending? Is because the spare that you received is not the right spare or it's a defective spare. It's not the appropriate spare. In that case, it will be NSD followed by SO number, and then you can type in your remarks. So at the end of every call, you need to send in this fourth tag, which is job end time. So we have seen these 4 tags. But then that is not the only thing that we do on a day. It is not that we go on attending calls one after the other. We also take some break for lunch. So when you start your lunch, you have to send an SMS which is LCS space lunch start time, and once you finished your lunch, you send another SMS saying LCS space lunch end time. So LCS space lunch start time and LCS space lunch end time are 2 more SMS that you need to send to mark the time that you have taken for eating your lunch. So totally there are 6 SMSs. LCS space TST travel start time, LCS space TET travel end time, LCS space JST job start time, LCS space JET job end time, LCS space LST lunch start time, and LCS space LET lunch end time. So these are 4 commonly used SMS tags, but there could be another variant of the SMS, which is when you are attending a second call at the same customer place, which means, let us say you have gone to a customer ABC Corporation and you have attended the first complaint there on a printer. Now there is another laptop also which requires attention, so you are attending to another equipment in the same customer place, or it could be another customer but is in the same building, which could happen in all the metros where there are multiple offices in one high-rise building. In such cases, you will actually not be traveling. You are just going from one floor to the other floor or one department to another department. There is no travel time. So in such case, you have to send an SMS which will go like LCS space TSET travel start and end time, which means it's a single SMS to state that you started your travel at that moment and it ended your travel also at that same moment. So that will be interpreted as a case where there was no travel done. For a TSET case, there is no amount spent. So all you have to do is LCS space TSET space the SO number. So if you send this in the system, the travel start time and travel end time will be populated with the same time, which is the time of the SMS you sent. Okay, so apart from the 6, which is travel start time, travel end time, job start time, job end time, lunch start time, lunch end time, there is also a 7th variant, which is travel start and end time, which you will use if there is no travel. You are attending a complaint in the same customer place where you attended the previous call, or at another customer place but in the same building, there is no travel time. Okay, some simple rules for every visit tag. Every SMS must start with LCS. For all that you are seeing there, you are seeing multiple SMS variants there. For each of those SMS, you have to start every SMS with LCS. Only then the system will recognize that it is a SMS received for the LCS series. If LCS is not there, your SMS will be rejected by the system. So this is a basic rule. Every SMS has to start with LCS, and every SMS has to end with the SO number. Every SMS will start with the end with the SO number of that particular call. The only exception is lunch, which is not associated with any SO number. There is no SO number required. So lunch start time and lunch end time will not require SO number. For every other tag, you have to send the SO number, and that will be at the end of the SMS. In case of job end time, the SO number will not be the last, because you can type in some remarks after the SO number. But for all other SMS, the last will be the SO number. Now, why should you as an engineer send all this? There is a lot of benefit for the organization. I am not getting into that. From an organization point of view, the organization knows what is the call being attended, how many calls are attended today, what is the load that is balanced. It's like a scorecard. If there is a one-day match happening, the batsman or whoever would obviously like to see the scoreboard and see how many runs we have scored, how many more runs we have to score, how many overs are pending. So from the management perspective, if the management gets a view of that scorecard or the scoreboard, it will be very useful. But what is it for you as an engineer? So I would say very simply that number one, your productivity. Every call that you attend, you are marking. You are not depending on somebody else to mark your productivity. When you send travel start time, travel end time, job start time, job end time, your productivity is increased by 1. When you do it a second time, you get another productivity. So depending on your SMSs, your productivity is marked. But obviously for every visit that you do, you need an SO number. So the question will be, what about those calls which are not corrective maintenance calls, like AMC collection, AMC contract handing over, or some asset mapping or whatever? So what is done is the call mediators in your office will register all such visits in the same system, and you will get an SMS which is equivalent of an SO number. It's not the CRM SO number, but it's another 10-digit number which will be equivalent of SO number. So even if it is a simple case of going to a customer place to collect a check, even for that visit, you will get a number, 10-digit number on your mobile phone as an SMS. So you will have to send the same travel start time, travel end time, job start time, job end time with this number that you receive on your SMS. So whether it is a corrective maintenance call or a non-corrective maintenance call, you are going to get a 10-digit number. It's either a CRM generated SO number or another visit number generated by the package. So for every visit that you have to do, you will be getting a number. So if you want your productivity to be counted, you must make sure that you get a number for the call that you are attending, and send these 4 SMS for every number that you are attending. You will get credit for 1 productivity. End of the year, as an engineer, your performance is measured by your productivity. So this system is going to keep record of all call visits that you make, and therefore it is like your diary. You are now having an electronic diary. You send the SMSs and your visit is recorded in this diary, electronic diary. So you are getting a CE diary from the system. You yourself will be able to take a printout of where all did I go on this date, how many calls did I attend in the month of February or March or April, how many calls did I attend in the quarter of JFM. So you will have a record which nobody can dispute. It is having all details of your call along with the SCN number, along with the details of the call, date, time, everything is there. So it's an undisputable record for your performance. Nobody can doubt this record. This apart, since you are also sending details of conveyance, you can also from the system download or generate a report of your conveyance expense for a period, for any period. If you are going to take your conveyance expense for 1st of January to 10th of January, you can take a report which will give you the total of, which will give you the details of all conveyance that you have tagged and sent to the system. So it becomes easy for you to generate your claims as well. So there is a lot of usefulness of this to you. Number one, you don't lose productivity. End of the year, you get credit for every visit that you make. That's the biggest win for any C. And second, it is your own personal electronic diary of all visits that you have made. So you can take a printout from the system which gives you details of all visits that you have made, and that is an undisputed record for your performance when it comes to your appraisal at the end of the year. And beside this, you can also get details of all conveyance information that you want to make your claims. So in short, this system is useful for the management, but it is also a very useful system for you as an engineer. So participate in this actively and make sure that you send these 4 SMS tags without fail for every call that you attend, and you are going to have an electronic diary of everything that you do. Now let's take some case studies of what is the SMS to be sent. So here we have a case. C leaves for a call, SO number 1234567890. He is traveling by bike and reaches the customer after traveling 7 kilometers. He starts the job after reaching the customer place, and at the end of the job the call is completed. He makes an SMN bearing number 98765432. He's written an SMN number, got it signed by the SCN service call note, and got it signed by the customer. So this engineer has to send 4 SMS. So moment he is leaving from office, let us say he is leaving from his regional office and going to customer place, moment he is leaving out of HCL office, he sends the first SMS. This has to be at that same instant. You can't send it later because the time of the SMS is important. If you send the SMS later, then it will be taken that you left for the customer place late, and you lose out because your travel time becomes less and your time wasted becomes more. So at the start of the journey, when he leaves office, he sends an SMS LCS space TST space 1234567890 and sends it to a particular number. I will share that number at the end of the whole exercise. So he sends out this SMS to a number, and then he starts his bike and leaves. He travels 7 kilometers, reaches the customer place, and once he has parked his vehicle in the customer's parking area and is reaching the security gate of this customer, he sends one more SMS LCS space travel end time TET. He is traveled by motorbike, so MBK, and then he traveled 7 kilometers, so it is number 7 for the 7 kilometers, and then the SO number 1234567890. See, he makes one more SMS and sends it to the same number. and later on when he starts working on the customer's PC, before opening his toolkit, he sends one more SMS, LCS, I have started to work on the computer, job start time, LCS space JST space 12345678990. So the system now knows that you, the engineer, based on your mobile number, you get identified by your mobile number, has reached the customer place and is attending on the particular service order number 12345678990. And then after completing the call, you have to send one more SMS, LCS space JET, job end time. The SCN number you made is 98765432, so you write that number. The call is completed. Okay, call is completed. CO means call is completed. There is nothing pending at the customer place. And the SCN number and the service order number is 12345678990, and your remarks is replaced SMPS, sorry. So in the PC you have replaced the SMPS, so that's the remarks. The remarks is possible only for the job end time SMS tags, not for any other SMS. So you can put however long remarks you want, it will be picked and put into the remarks column of that particular visit. So let us say in this particular case, replaced SMPS and carrying the defective SMPS back to office. You could actually have typed that, because CO means everything is closed, there is nothing pending at the customer place. Call is completed, which means you are taking the SMPS back to office yourself. So you can type in replaced SMPS space carrying the defective SMPS back to office. You can put whatever remarks you want. So this is a typical cycle of 4 SMS tags that you send for a particular visit. We'll take one more case study. So here is a case where after attending the first call, I am attending to a second call in the same customer place, which means I am not traveling. So here the first SMS is LCS space TxTag, travel start and end time, and the SO number is 23456789112. So the CE sends an SMS LCS space TxTag space 23456789112, which means travel start time and travel end time is the time of the SMS, which means there is no travel. And on starting the call, which is opening the machine, you send one more SMS LCS space job start time JST and the SO number. And on completing and getting it signed, SCN signed by the customer, here the call is not closed, call is pending, there is a spare required, so SR, and what is the spare required is the remarks after the SO number. SO number is 23456789112. After that he has put a remark 1 GB DDR2 PC memory module required. So what's the spare required is also putting it into the remarks. So this is a case where there is no travel time, the call is also not closed, the call is pending because a spare is required. So that's the case where there is no travel and a call is pending. Okay, now we'll take a case study 3 where an engineer travels by multiple modes. Let us say he is traveling by an auto to a bus stand, and from the bus stand he takes a bus and travels to the customer place. So he's traveled 15 minutes to local bus stand and paid 30 rupees. Then he traveled by bus for 2 hours and paid 25 rupees. So at the start of the journey, which is before he got into the auto, he types in LCS TxT, travel start time, and then the SO number at the start of the journey, that is before he got into the auto. So his first journey is by auto. So before getting into auto he sends travel start time, but after reaching the customer place we don't want him to update auto because most of the journey here is by bus. 15 minutes by auto and 2 hours by bus. So the relevance is for time. We don't have a provision to say that I traveled by auto and then by bus, so there is only one travel to be updated. So pick that mode of travel where you spent most time if you have used more than one mode of travel. So in this case auto was 15 minutes and bus was 2 hours, so the CE has to say LCS space TET space bus, because bus took the more travel time. But when it comes to amount, he adds up both, that is 30 rupees for the auto and 25 rupees for the bus. So 55 rupees is the total travel expense. So it is not that the bus expense is 55 rupees, the total travel expense is 55 rupees. The mode of travel, the bulk, most part of the travel was by bus, so he has updated it as bus. So you have to keep sending this SMS back to the system. Now, which number to send your SMS? I am not informing that in this training module. So once your managers updates your name and mobile number in the system, the TxTag system will be sending you an SMS informing you what is the number to which you have to send the SMS. Once we get your details verified and updated by your regional LCS POC, you will get an SMS on your registered mobile number indicating which number you have to send SMS to. So I am not disclosing the mobile number in this training module. You will get it as an SMS once your number is registered in the system. So it's a simple system. You have to keep sending SMS, and your SMS time is picked. So it is very important to send the SMS at the right time, not after finishing the journey. If you send a travel start time after finishing the journey, then the entry in the diary becomes wrong. So it requires a lot of discipline. So every time you start your travel, you send an SMS. Every time you end your travel, you send another SMS. Once you start your job, you send a third SMS. Once you get the SCN signed off, you send a fourth SMS. It's a discipline. You have to develop this habit, and once it becomes your habit, it is like your electronic diary. You are going to have a record of all the calls. Now, as a CE, when you are sending these SMSs, this is for official purpose. It's an official SMS that you are sending. So this will be considered the cost incurred by you for the mobile phone for sending the SMS is considered as official expenses and will be reimbursed as long as you are in the company promoted schemes. So we will be promoting a scheme for CEs which will give you a good number of SMS packs, so that you can send, if you have to send 4 SMS for every visit and you are making 6 visits in a day, so you have to send 24 SMS and then 2 SMS for lunch, so that is 26 SMS. So in a month of 20, 22, 23 days, you will have to send about 500, 600 SMS. So you will be asked to take up a mobile HCL CUG scheme which gives you the provision to send these many number of SMSs, and that is a reimbursable expense. This system has to be used by all engineers in field who are going and attending customer calls. So this is to track your productivity. This is to track how many calls we are attending as a team every hour. This is to give information to the management of what is the best way of keeping our calls pending very low and therefore keeping our customers happy. So let me wish you all the best. We request that you carry a printout of all these SMS tags which will be made. If you want this, when you send your we can send it by email to your office. You can take the printout from your LCS manager of these various SMSs so that you don't make a mistake in sending the SMS. One more small information: whenever you send an SMS, if there are any mistakes in the SMS you sent, that SMS will be rejected and you will get a reply SMS from the system saying that your SMS has been rejected. So you will have to study that SMS, spot whatever is the mistake and resend that SMS in the correct format. So let us say by mistake, instead of TET, the engineer typed in TAT. Now the system will not be able to interpret what is TAT. So that particular SMS will be rejected. So you will have to retype that SMS and resend the SMS in the correct format. So thank you for attending this session, and start using the TxTag module and start forming your electronic diary entries, which will be useful for you and useful for the company as well. Thank you.